Okay, this is an intro to beginner mallet daily drill on keyboard. So we're going to go through each variation here and talk about what we're looking for whenever we're performing or getting ready for a chair test or what have you. So let's start with alpha here. So alpha starts very simple here. The one thing we want you to think about is your stroke type and your body position. And we're just going to keep it pretty simple. All right, so for alpha, as you can see, we start on the first leisure line below the staff. That is middle C. Middle C is different on different keyboards, but on a low A marimba, it's your second C. I have my left hand on that C, and then as you see in measure 2, your right hand goes to the second line from the bottom, so that's G. So I have C in my left and G in my right, and those are my only notes to start here. So we want to see piston stroke here, or an upstroke. So I want my hands up about a 45 degree. Make sure your feet are spread apart from that C to G. So my left foot's on C and my right foot's on G. I have a comfortable stance. I'm not too close, not too far. My elbows are right next to me. And I'm going to strike and come up very quickly. Okay, I don't want to downstroke. I don't want to start down and then lift up. I want to be already there, so all I have to do is drop. So where are we hitting on the keyboard here? So this is a good time to really hone in on our hit spots. So right now, if you're a beginner, we want to be playing right over the resonators. The little pipes underneath the marimba are a circle, right? So we want to be right in the middle of that resonator. So make sure you're not on the string or anything like that. Be right above the center. It matters where you hit. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. C, G, C. Notice I'm matching at the top of my stroke. Freeze. You will eventually memorize these exercises, but please look at your music so you don't accidentally keep playing it or don't do it long enough or you don't end with the last C. All right, so pretty straightforward there. Stroke, posture, technique, foot placement, hit spot. That's all we're kind of looking for here. Okay, bravo. So bravo is a first scale exercise, ascending only. That means you're only going up the keyboard. So again, we're starting on that middle C and we're going up stepwise motion. That means one note at a time. We're not doing any accidentals yet. No flats or sharps, just the naturals on the bottom. And as we're reading, obviously we got C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C in ascending quarter notes. A quarter note gets the beat. Now we want the same technique here, but now our hands are going to be a little more together because we're within a step of each other. We also are going from C to C this time, so we have to widen our stance where our left is on this low C and our right's on this high C. Now we're going to start to implement our body motion. So we want to start moving left to right, and we don't want to turn our shoulders yet. Okay, let's get good at this left to right motion first, like we're on a surfboard going this way. I shouldn't see your shoulders turning at all. We don't want to start playing and then turn. As a beginner, you're probably going to want to just start on the C, and then as you go, you'll start reaching. You need to think about the future here. So you know you're going to end up on that C. So really your body stance should be in the middle between the F and G. Then you'll lean to the left, and you'll start playing. As you play, you're going to start moving and keeping your shoulders straight. Still want to hit in the center of the bar, still want that piston stroke, that upstroke, and now we just want to focus on moving our body. All right, here we go. On bravo, I want you to say the note names out loud. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and freeze. Okay, so Charlie, Delta, and Echo are all setting you up for Foxtrot. So these are little mini exercises that we won't do eventually. We'll just go straight to Foxtrot. But I think Charlie and Delta and Echo are essential to learn as a beginner before you hop into Foxtrot. I think Foxtrot's just gonna be too much. We're going from that C to G that was an alpha, but now we're going right lead, and now we're doing eighth notes. Now just because we're doing eighth notes doesn't mean we're gonna smooth out our stroke. I still want you to pop your mallets up, okay? I still want to see your body move. And then now that we have eighth notes, I don't want you to start going around your stick. We learn piston stroke not just for the sound, but also so the mallet gets out of the way of the other hand, so that when we do eighth notes like this, we can go center, 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 instead of having to go around ourselves because we're downstroking and our hands are in the way. So this is a good way to finally put our piston stroke to use in an eighth note format where we're kind of getting out of the way of ourselves. So remember, it's right hand lead. Although everything's good to do opposite hands, this technically is right hand lead, okay? It just has a repeat, C to G up and down, right hand lead. Here we go. 1, 2, Charlie, go. C, G, in the center, C, G, and stop. Delta is the exact same format, but we start on G. The note that was on top was G a second ago on Charlie. Now G's on the bottom, and we go up 5 more notes. So it goes G, A, B, C, D. Okay, so we're going to D and then doing the same pattern. I still want to see the same body motion and piston stroke hitting in the center. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. G, D, G, D, G. Okay, so now we're getting to echo. Echo is kind of combining that. So we're going C all the way to the top note that we had in Delta, which is D. Now it's just 9 notes you have in a row. Still right lead. Now our body stance needs to be a little bit bigger. C in your left foot, D in your right foot, and you got to do a lot more body motion here. Okay, here we go. Echo, 2, ready, go. C, G, D, G, C. Now that we know those 3 elements, and we have, and then all together, now we're ready to put that together in our pattern for Foxtrot. So Foxtrot has a repeat on every other measure, so be careful for that. So we're doing our Charlie, Charlie, and here's your repeat on Charlie. Now we're going to go ahead to measure 2 of Foxtrot, which is the first half of echo. C, G. Now we're at the top where we were earlier. Now we're just going to go from D to G and have a repeat, sort of like Delta, but now it's doing D first to the low G. So it's kind of reverse in that way. So it goes D, G, D, G, D. Okay, so that repeats. Then we go down, which is the second half of echo. D, G, C. Remember, these are all right lead for now. Okay, then we just do all the way up and down, C to D, back to C, just like echo. C, G, D, G, C, and then we're done. Okay, and that creates Foxtrot, is putting all those 3 exercises together. All right, so remember, have your feet apart, remember piston stroke and move your body back and forth, and then it's a matter of also learning a pattern. Here we go. Foxtrot, 2, ready, go. Charlie, Charlie, first half of echo, Delta, Delta again, right? Now we're finishing echo, now we're going to do the full echo. Okay, golf. Golf is what we call a sequence. If you're looking at the music on golf, you'll see there's kind of a pattern here. It goes C up the scale, and then the next note in the scale after C is D. So it's D up the scale, and then the next note in the scale is E. E up the scale. It's kind of a pattern here, or what we call a sequence. It's left lead, it's 8 notes, it's piston stroke, it's getting our body moving again, and now we're starting to look at sequence patterns. Well, the way I think about it is in the pattern, every 4 notes, the first note, that's what I'm thinking of, and creating a scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now notice when we stop on that C, that third space C, and measure 4, that's on beat 3, and then there's a rest on beat 4. On beat 4, we're going to kind of reset our hands and get ready for the second line, because the right hand starts now, and it's right hand descending in stepwise motion in the same pattern. So every 4th note is a scale, is part of the scale. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, rest and freeze. Okay, so again, we don't want to turn our shoulders. We want to hit in the center of the bar. We want piston stroke, and we want to make sure we get the rhythms and sequence correct. Make sure you're looking at your music too. Don't just go straight to memorization. Make sure you pay attention to the details on the music with your stickings and rhythms. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Set. C, B, we're right hand lead now. A, G, so hotel, here's what we're looking for. Now, we will have 16th notes to start. We will stack to start on those 16th notes because it's going to get faster eventually where we're going to need to stack. So let's go ahead and get used to that. So what I want you to do is I want you to surround that resonator, get above the circle and below the circle, inside the circle, and put your left hand on the bottom. And as soon as we get to the 8th notes, now let's go back to the center for now. Now, when we get to that roll, let's actually do a roll. Don't go 1 E and a 2 E and a stop. It's not 16th notes. Go as smooth and as relaxed and as low as you can, okay, to make it sound smooth, not like a rhythm. Then we have rest on 3 and 4. So it's a half note roll. So that's 2 beats. 1, 2, off, 4, go to the next part. Okay, so the next part is thirds. It starts left lead, and thirds are when we skip a note in the scale. So instead of going C, D, we're going C, E, as you can see in the music. Then we move to D, F. So if you're doing this, you'll have a note in between that you're not playing, and then you just kind of move. So when you're first learning thirds, I will learn together. So we're just going ascending. So again, I'm paying attention to my left hand. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now that C at the very top, when you complete the scale, is a left hand by itself, not a right. Pay attention to the music, okay? Then eventually you'll split that up. So instead of double stopping it, you go left, right, like it says in the music. I'm still paying attention to my left hand. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, but I'm still keeping my hands at a third like I started with. You stop on beat 4 on that left hand again, then you reset because now your right hand's about to hit that C and we're descending. So it's going to be A in your left hand and C in your right. And again, you can start practicing with double stops. Going down, B, A, G, F, E, D, and now it's the right hand by itself on that C. Then eventually you can split it up. C, A, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. All right, after thirds, we have arpeggios. Arpeggios is built off of scale degrees. So an arpeggio is the first, third, and fifth of the scale. So the first note is C, D is the second. So the third is E, F is the fourth, so the fifth is G. Now the top, that top C is an octave above. That is the 8th scale degree, but it's also the first scale degree because it matches the C on the bottom. I have 1, 3, 5, 1, or 8 at the top. C, E, G, C. So it's the odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, and at the top you'll do C again, or whatever the first note was. So the pattern you see in your music is a left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. There's a double right at the top and a double left at the end, but it's the same pattern. 1, 3, 5, 1, and then I'll mirror it. 1, 5, 3, 1, and then 1 again. So we have 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, 3, 1, 1 in 8th note format. I want to see your body move while you do that. And also hit in the center. Okay, make sure you're doing left lead and it's 8th notes. All right, so let's go through hotel. 1, 2, ready, go. Stack, center, stack, center. Roll nice and low, off, 4, thirds. This is left lead. Now right hand. Arpeggio, left hand. Rest. Okay, so India is learning our chromatic scale. So we're playing every note. As you can see, we're starting from C. Now the rest look weird because there's sharps and flats and naturals, but essentially we're playing every note, every half step, from C all the way to C. So if we're starting with our right hand and our left hand's on C sharp, we just go slowly and never double. Now you might have trouble there because it kind of switches. Your right hand was started on bottom, and now your left hand's on bottom. So let's think through this. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now that was our right hand on E, and F is next on the bottom. So I have to pull my left hand down to that F. F, now my right hand goes up to the F sharp, G, G sharp, A, A sharp, B. Now the next note is C, the final note at the top, and that's going to be on my right hand is what's next because my left was on the B. Now here's a little tricky spot. The next note going down, because we're going backwards, is B again. Our left hand's already there, so you don't need to move your left hand. A lot of times your left hand will want to move because you think there's a change, but actually it's B twice in a row for your left hand. So start at the top. C, B in the left hand, now the right hand goes back up. B flat, A flat, G flat, F. Now we just did left hand on F, so right hand's back to E, now left hand's back up, E flat, D flat, C. Now again we have a half note roll at the end. Make sure it's low, relaxed. It's not 16th notes or any kind of rhythm. Trying to make that note sing. We're in triplets, so every beat we're gonna try to fit 3 notes in that beat. So 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 lolly. Okay? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, 1 lolly, 2 lolly, 3 lolly, 4 lolly, roll. Notice on that roll my left hand stacked on top because the left is coming from the top, so I don't want to have to do some kind of switcheroo. I just want to pull my left hand down on top of my right. All right, Juliet, we're working on a roll speed here. So this exercise, I want you to go right hand stacked on top to start. We're only going from C to F. On the way back down, we're going to switch so we can work on our left hand stacked on top. And then when we get back down to C, we're going to switch back to right hand on top. Now, we have kind of a skeleton set up here. We have 1 E and 2. This is going to be nice and low. You're going to have a little bit of give in the back of your hand. Relax. You shouldn't be super gripping. It should be relaxed. It should be relaxed grip. So we have 1 E and 2. And I want you to think on that beat 2, think about the 16th notes that you're not playing. 1 E and 2 E and then you come in on 3 with 30-second notes. Digga 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 da. The right hand's doing the same thing as beat 1. 1 E and 2. Digga 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 da. So you hear my left hand playing between the 16th notes, but my right hand was still doing that same 16th note. So what you're doing is you're trying to make sure the right hand doesn't change or the left hand doesn't change on the way down. So we have da 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 E and digga 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 da E and next note da 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 E and Now on measure 2, I wrote it as a roll, but I want you to keep doing 30-second notes. I just wanted to save space, and also you might see it like that. Now I know what you're thinking. Mr. I said a roll shouldn't sound like a rhythm. Well, first we need to sound like a rhythm on this exercise so we can get a kind of a control and make sure it sounds even. And that allows us to start branching out and making sure it doesn't sound like a rhythm later. We need to be even before we do something that's not a rhythm. So this helps us make sure it sounds perfect. Digga 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 da as a rhythm first, and then we'll branch out. Okay? So let's keep going. D, D, E, and da. Digga, 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 da. If I start on my right, 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 right. I end on my right. Right, 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 right. Now I'm switching to my left hand on the top. Let's get some metronome going. Left's on top. Ready? Go. Left, 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 left. A lot of you who are right-handed will have trouble because you're not used to starting on your left or even ending on your left. So make sure you don't accidentally go left, right. It's got to start on your left, then it's got to end on your left. Okay? If it starts on your right, it ends on your right. Don't do anything mixed. Left, 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 left. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Left, left. Da. C. Now, switch. Now at the end, we're going to do a real roll. And just hold it. In class, I might ask you to crescendo, decrescendo, slow it, speed it up. We're going to work on our roll there as not a rhythm and try to mix some things in there, but we'll do that in class.